Good evening. This side Rahul Logan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore, and we are a multi-million valuation company, 100% profitable and 100% cash rich. Unlike Paytm, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, Policy Bazaar, Cartrade, Nikia, Delivery, Oyo, and many such great unicorns. We are not a unicorn, but 100% profitable and no fake valuation and zero debt. I repeat, zero debt. Many of you who knew me personally knew that I worked in a treasury department. As a corporate treasurer, I handled almost every bank you mentioned. But many people do not know that Treasury interacts with two other departments very, very closely. And if there is a flaw in that interaction, then this may end up a catastrophe to that company. And these two departments are nothing but accounting and investor relation. Of course, I spoke a lot about accounting, and I am the only one who made video on the YouTube openly challenging that accounting is the most fraudulent practice we have as we speak. Now, whether this is KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, EY, everyone involved in a list of scandals. But that's a separate thing, that in a country like India, the license of none of the credit rating got revoked. And it would never happen. We'll speak on this separately. There is another department which should have a very good consensus with the Treasury Department, and that is known as Investor Relation Department. Many Einstein, Edison, Newton, Graham Bell feels that investor relation is all about public company like Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, probably Google, and all these public companies. And many more than Einstein's, more than Newton, feel that investor relation is only applicable when the size of the company is bigger than or equivalent to what I talked, like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and all these companies. But these Einstein, Edisons, and Newtons are not aware that investor relation is a mandatory department. Because whether you are a public company or you are a private company, there are certain documentation you need to make on a periodic basis. Some on a monthly basis, some on a quarterly basis, some on a 6 month basis, which is half, some on a yearly basis, just like annual reports and 10K. Now there is like I give you a few examples, like on a monthly basis, there is a concept called company dashboard. And this dashboard goes to the top level of the organization, the chief executive officers, the chief financial officers, probably the chief revenue officers, chief investment officers, chief technology officers, all these will get a copy of that. And they need to comment on this. They need to comment on this. But having said that, there is one important concept. Who will make this? Who would be making this? It is the duty of the investor relation department who would be making this. But having said that, the investor relation department never gets or make these report on a standalone basis. They always get the data. And from where they get the data? They get the data from, Treasury Department. They get the data from Accounting Department. They get the data from Revenue Department. They get the data from different departments. But they never make the data standalone. They only compile it. And that is something which we need to learn. Now, this is part 1. See you in the part 2.